What's up, YouTube? Justin back again with another player interview for our next member here at Team Shenanigans. I seriously can't take you serious right now. Can you stop that? Okay. This is Matt. Y'all remember him from his Great Nature rant and everything, and our meta talk. And yeah, Great Nature right there. And an update on his grandma. How's she doing, by the way?
She's doing great. She had a little bit of a trouble, a little bit of a fall last week. At least that's what I told her to tell people. You might remember we were talking about how my grandmother played dope. Might have taken her deck. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't look her up. She's fine.
Jeannie hurts children. Matt hurts old people.
That's true.
So the perfect couple.
Shenanigans has got all of our bases covered.
You know, it's young or not. I mean, medium. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's start the interview.
Let's do
Enough
that.
bullshit. What decks do you play?
Alright, so I've got my 4 main decks here right now. Well, 3 main decks. I don't really play Great Nature right now because the deck is a bit outdated. It can still do good things.
I thought you were going to call it a bitch.
It can still do good things about some of the against some of the good decks nowadays, but it kind of takes a little bit of luck and extremely good maneuvering with the cards it has. And but I've got it here just because I love it.
What do you mean outdated? They got their last support in set 7.
Set 9 was the last support. And
I'm
also,
stupid. And a new update.
But once set 13 comes out, you're going to see a brand new deck profile for these guys.
Yes.
So right now I've got 3 main decks that I'm playing. I've got Dauntless Dote here, Glory Transcore, and Eradicators. Mainly Vowing Saber, Dragon Reverse, although I'm thinking about trying out Descendant in with Vowing Saber. Just see how that works out.
Nice.
But yeah, these are my current decks. They've all been performing very well. I actually used Aquaforce for the first time in a while today, and did pretty well in the tournament.
Got second?
Yeah.
Solid second. So, out of everything out right now, what would you say is your favorite deck or clan?
Even though I just talked about how it doesn't win a lot now, this is still my favorite deck. This deck is so ridiculously fun, and it's great watching my opponent's faces as they get increasingly bored during my end phase while I'm drawing and retiring and all of this stuff. And if that gives you any indication of what my favorite clan... what my favorite clan is...
Not rude at all. It's okay. I can just edit that out.
Oh yeah, totally.
No, I'm not editing this shit. No.
My favorite clan is Great Nature. I just love the aesthetic of it. I love the badass animals and the adorable animals like, Duckbill is probably the cutest thing ever. Except Softing Sloth just came out, so he's got competition.
Hey, quick question. What set does Castanet Donkey come out of again?
Castanet Donkey came out of set 9.
Not 8, right?
Not 8.
Okay. This guy going around, set 8 came out, asking everybody for Castanet Donkeys.
I forgot.
I had no idea why nobody could pull any. Short print common,
Hey,
let me tell you.
You were confused too.
I was for a little while.
Because he trusted you.
I know. I was like, oh, Matt knows his shit about Great Nature.
Yeah,
Let
totally.
me tell you.
I needed that other draw trigger.
Anyway, let's keep going. What decks or clans do you absolutely hate right now? Don't stare at me like that.
I'm gonna stare at you like that. Justin pilots one of my most hated decks right now, as well as Aaron, which you'll, I think, see an interview from him at some point in the future. My most hated decks are Revengers and Link Joker, because Revengers are just too damn good. They're really great. Like, I don't necessarily think they're overpowered. They're not unbeatable by any means, but they're very consistent, very good, and very hard for me to beat. Especially with Justin at the helm, because he's ridiculously good. And then Link Joker is, again, not unbeatable, but unfair to a degree. Because, like, I don't know. The point to me of these card games is to play against someone, and I don't know, I feel like I'm not being able to even play sometimes when my whole field is locked and all I've got is a Vanguard.
I mean, kind of restricted, right?
That's one of the reasons that I built Dauntless Dote, so that if I could just break ride every turn, I'd still be perfectly fine.
But look at it this way, at least you'll always be able to attack with your Vanguard every turn, right? Right? Right, Bushiroad would never do anything to affect that.
Nope.
No.
I'm definitely not going to be building that at set 15.
Anyway, so how do you think? Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I haven't been doing this long. Can you tell? How did you get into Vanguard?
I was kind of resistant at first. I'd been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a really long time. But I don't know. Once my Inzectors got hit hard, which oh god, everyone hated that deck. Once they got hit and stuff like Dragon Rulers started coming out, I started to get really, really tired of Yu-Gi-Oh! It felt really stale to me. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of interaction between players. It was just like OTK or die. And then some
Still
people
that
at the
way.
card shop started playing Vanguard. And I saw it and immediately started making fun of them because it looked stupid, or so I thought. Then Justin over here was just like, he came to me one day. He said, you know, you're going to make fun of me for this and you might hate me, but I bought a Vanguard trial deck and I sat down and I learned the game, and from then on it's been my favorite thing. I love it. I've gotten super into it.
It's pretty fun. Pretty fun.
I love it.
It's nice to have a game where you don't auto lose turn 2 if you didn't draw everything you need.
Yes. Except, when you're grade locked.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
How do you think Bushiroad could improve this game?
I actually think, looking to the future, they're already doing some of the things that could help. I love Limit Break. If you can't tell, all of these units, well, not all of these units have Limit Break, but Dauntless does. It's a great mechanic. It's a great way to kind of, level the playing field for stuff.
Yeah.
But I think one of the great things they're doing is with Legion coming up way in the future, just came out in Japan. It's really cool because Legion kind of brings back a mid-game. Because it really feels like a lot of the times with these decks, it's just like, okay, I've got all my units, I've got everything I need, now I just have to wait until I get to 4 damage, and then I can do things. And Legion is just like, okay, if your opponent has a grade 3 Vanguard, start doing things, activating skills.
Yes.
And I think that's really cool, and it brings back something to the game that it feels like the game's kind of lost. Because, with Alfred and Soul Saver and stuff like that, it was just like, I ride my Vanguard, it does all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
And, so it kind of brings back a feeling to the game that I think it's lost. Another thing I think they kind of did that helped improve that we're getting starting in set 14, I think, is unlocking. Because locking was a mistake. Again, I've talked about how it's not, I don't think it's overpowered, but it is incredibly annoying to not be able to use cards that, you should be able to attack with and boost with and use their skills. So I think those things, my main concerns have been addressed already and are coming in the future.
Yeah. And Quintet walls help a lot too. This game got overly aggressive at some point.
Screw Die Kaiser. That's kind of another deck that I've started to hate.
Hey, look, you're at 2. Now you're dead.
Yep.
Let's see here. Okay. Now, here's when you can be as vain as possible, Matt. If you had to rate yourself 1 to 10, we're not talking about looks here. We know you're a 10. How would you rate yourself as a player? 10 being the highest. 10
as much
being
as
the
I'd
best.
love to just say 10, I think I am, I don't know, like
9.5.
7 or 8 maybe. Like, I don't know. I like to think I'm pretty good. I'm definitely not unbeatable. I don't win most of the tournaments at our locals because people like my teammates, Justin over here and Christy, like to kick my ass back and forth over the playing field. So, at home, it's the wife that does it. Her Spike brothers murder me. But, I like to think that I'm pretty good, especially with these guys here. You know that I like to think I'm good with these guys.
Yes.
Been using them for a long time.
That new kid in the shop. Great nature sucks. Okay, play against my deck.
We've got a guy that thinks that the Great Nature sucks, and
Justin, I beat him at 0 damage.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a lot of fun. But I like to think I'm good.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Have you went to any big tournaments yet? And how well did you do in them? And how would you rate your experience?
I went to the Atlanta Regionals in 2013, and I had a lot of fun. I did pretty well. I made it. There were, I think, 8 rounds. 8
There
rounds.
was 8 rounds, then it cut to top 8.
Yeah, I made it to round 5, which I thought was pretty good. I took these guys right here
Great nature.
because why wouldn't I?
Exactly. Did really well, right?
I was doing very well. There was a game that I got grade locked. That's going to happen. There's nothing I could do about that. The other game that I lost was actually a great game against a Spike Brothers player who made it into top 8.
Yeah.
And, oh, God, I had so much fun that game. I'm still kind of a little salty over the fact that games are best of one instead of best of
Yeah,
three.
that sucked.
I understand Bushiroad's reasons for not, doing best of three, but I wish that it were possible, and I hope that at some point in the future the game becomes, popular enough for them to justify like multi-day tournaments with best of three.
They really should. I think even if they had to pay extra money, even tournaments are free now. I don't think we'd mind forking out $5 for a longer tournament to make the drive more worthwhile.
It'd be nice.
Yeah. So, would you say you still had fun though?
Oh
Was
yeah,
it ran
I
well?
definitely loved it. Even when I got out, they had side tournaments. I don't know if you've seen me posting around. I used to post a lot back when Great Nature was still a bit more viable, talking about the deck and stuff. I had people coming up to me and they were like, "Hey, you're that Great Nature guy. We should play a couple of games." And people just wanted to like see my deck, test out against it. It was a lot of fun. The free events, we got cool promos like Creeping Dark Goat and that other thing that wasn't actually a cool promo. So I had a lot of fun.
One became
that day.
useful. One became useful.
I'm a little sad that we aren't going to be able to go to team regionals, but I'm really looking forward to single regionals again later this year.
Can't wait. Need to have more than one a year.
That would be great.
Yes. Okay, so what do you believe makes a good player good?
I'm not getting grade locked.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. That is a fair answer. That is a rare skill to have, actually. That's
Yeah. I don't know. Just know your deck. A lot of the things I've seen, there's nothing wrong with building a bunch of decks. I think all told I have 7 decks built right now.
Yeah.
But it's good to have one deck that you just, like, you really know, like, in and out how this deck operates. No matter what situation you're in, you know how you're going to attempt to play out of it. I think what makes a great player great is just time and dedication. Yeah. And, like, a real love for their deck. If you're building a deck just because you think it's the strongest thing out there and you're going to win with it because it's so overpowered and awesome,
yeah,
you're not going to do anything.
No.
Play the decks you love, master them.
That's a good answer. That's a really good answer. Better than I would say. How would you break down luck versus skill in this game, like percentage ratio wise?
There's definitely more luck than some of the other games I've played in that, there's the triggers, the drive checks, the damage checks and stuff. But honestly, a lot of the times, unless it's just really, really one-sided, like one person checks all of them. I had a game one time where by, I think, turn 4, I'd seen 12 of my triggers already. Like, that was a ridiculous game. But unless it's a game like that, I really don't feel like the triggers factor that much into it. Like, they're nice to have, but, for every heal you hit, your opponent's probably going to hit another one.
Yeah.
Like, it's generally crit for crit, draw for draw. They're a nice little bonus to get, but I feel like most games are decided based on deck building and skill.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you crit somebody and they heal away the second damage anyway?
Exactly. Happens all the time, especially early game.
Yes. So, moving on to the last question here. What do you feel is the best deck right now? If I said, Matt, there was the regionals yesterday, why the hell weren't you there? What are you doing? We're not friends anymore. Oh, by the way, what do you think won?
I wasn't there because I was talking to my grandma about dope. And I would say at this point in the English game, I wouldn't be not remotely surprised to hear Revengers won. The deck is great. It's extremely consistent. It does what it does, and it does it very well. So I think at this point, Revengers is what I'd say would come out on top.
And I don't know if it still would be because we haven't had a big tournament in a while, but it kind of became the new dope for a little while.
Yeah.
Because everybody thought it was going to be an autopilot and everything, so everybody started playing it.
It's the big new restander.
Yeah, exactly. So, appreciate the interview, and get out of my house.
It's not going to happen.
Alright, but for now, this is Team Shenanigans signing out. Thanks, guys.